see here. One sec. Okay. Hello, Munchie Mafia. Happy Friday. Oh my God, why does it do this to me? Turn off the audio on my phone and so I can see chat, and there we are. Turns itself back on. So again, welcome Munchie Mafia. Today we've got lots of goodies happening here in the kitchen. And let's see, who do we have so far? We've got Oyster and Tiger, Timmy, and Captain Brian will not be here because he has to go and pick somebody up from the train station. So we got a lot of things going on. Just waiting for the deep fryer to heat up. There's Derek. Hey, what's up, man? So, shout outs. We've got the food boat who's in the house right now. Captain Brian is not in the house right now. As I said, he's at the train station. We also have Polish Cha-Cha Fishing, who's probably going to show up eventually. Let's see here. Who else do we have? We have Alfred Montaner, who did a live this afternoon going through Miami on a bike and then almost got arrested. So you give him some shit later. And then we also have Andy of the Menorcan Mullet and Mason Hefner. Can't forget our beautiful onesie women. Hello, onesie women. And so shout outs are all done and over with. So what we're going to start with while we're waiting on this stuff to do its thing is we're going to make handmade tartar sauce. So we've got a bowl here with 2 egg yolks, and I need to get my whisk. I'm doing this the hard way because I don't have enough electrical connections. Now, let me scoot this over. So now we're going to take 2 egg yolks. Make sure that the whites are not attached or else it's not going to emulsify properly. Now, one of the things that albumin needs in order to emulsify is lecithin. And the way we get lecithin is a squeeze of lemon juice right there. And then I keep forgetting the freaking spoons, man. Will somebody put a reminder up that I need to remember to grab spoons? I always forget. So today was a little bit of a cluster F. And the reason why I say cluster F is that the grocery store did not have any rice flour except for the mochi flour, which I said not to use, but, well, we're going to give it a try. Hey there, Mason Hiffner, and Onesie Women is in the house. Hey, hey, hey. And hello, Teresa. I think that says Teresa. Is that Teresa, or is she not here yet? Yes, she is here. Okay. All right, so we're going to put a smidge of, this one is a German mustard, Dusseldorf-style mustard. So that's going to give us the lecithin. So we're going to whisk this around. Until we have, where's my towel? I don't want to have to sit here and dink around with this bowl. I won't have 2 hands. Okay, so we want to get that all whisked together so that it's all nice and mixed up. And then we're going to take 3 cups of oil. And we're going to just start drizzling it, but we're going to start beating the hell out of this so that we get it to start emulsifying. Normally I would do this in the food processor, but lack of electrical outlets without shutting off the power to the house kind of makes it a little hard. So we're going to just do this by hand. I've done this a gazillion freaking times. I'm going to be feeling it in the morning. So tomorrow is a big day for our household. Now, when I say drizzle, I mean like drizzle, like do a few drops, whiskey, and add a little bit, and just start stirring it very, very, very slowly. I'm sorry about the noise. Every time the bell rings, the angel gets its wings. Oh, anyway, so also helps not to use a steel bowl, but because they slide around a lot. One of these days, I'm going to go and get some of that non-kid stuff over at the dollar store. It's over by the cheap-ass peel and stick wallpaper stuff that really doesn't work all that great. So we're starting to see that it's starting to really thicken. And once when it starts, oh God, I got to switch hands. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. This old shit is getting old. So anyway, big day tomorrow, but I'll share that in a little bit. Some people already are in the know about what's going on. So don't say anything. Or else I'm just going to deny, and then make you guys look like assholes. So, you don't want to do that. All right, switch hands again. Getting my arm workout today. This is arm day. Or it'll be leg day, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. So you can see it's starting to get really, really, really thick. And I don't know why Dory's barking now, but she's barking. Hello, Barky, Barky. Okay. So this is a 2-for-1. This is going to also be part of our coleslaw mix. And we're basically making a mayonnaise. This is a cold emulsion. What the? Oh. The house is going to explode. Somebody set a time bomb. Kidding. It's just the deep fryer saying, hey, I'm preheated. That was fast. All right. This is what makes chefs a little bit crazy. Stuff like this. It's just tedious. Normally would use a food processor, but you know, you can use a food processor. Don't use a blender because then it's going to get, you're going to break it. And then you're going to be like, help, Civvy, what did I do wrong? And you're going to send me a picture and I'm going to be like, you donkey. We don't want to do that. So who else is in the house? Who else? Hello, Greg. So now we got, oh, dang it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to really, really, really emulsify. Now, what will help, especially if you live in the hotter regions, is if you get a bowl that's larger than the bowl that you're going to be mixing, and you put some ice in it, and then put a towel over the top, and then put the bowl that you're going to be mixing into the bigger bowl with the ice. And also maybe even start with refrigerated oil. Going to help to emulsify. In hotter weather, sometimes they have the tendency to break a lot more. And then you have to start all over. You don't have to really start all over. The way you do it is you just go get a couple more egg yolks and a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of mustard, and you put it into the food processor after you've taken everything out, and then you slowly and gradually drizzle the broken one in after you've whizzed up the egg mixture first, of course. So see, that's just really nice and gloppy. And that's how you save it. I do not recommend using one of the little Ninja blenders where the blade, you put it in the cup and you flip it upside down. Those can actually cook it, and then you end up with scrambled greasy egg, and at that point it's not salvageable. You can use whatever oil you want. This is just a standard canola oil because oil prices are just through the freaking roof right now. I didn't want to have to go all the way to Costco to go get another bottle of olive oil. So, look in your cupboards and see what you have, see what your preference is, because you can definitely use avocado oil, rapeseed oil, olive oil. It's up to you. But now that we've got this thing fully mixed, we can just start drizzling it a little harder or a little faster because it's already emulsified. Now you don't want to just dump it all in there. When I say, let it drizzle a little bit faster, that doesn't mean just pour it in there, okay? So here we go. And as long as you have the same speed of mixing, you'll be fine. You can also use one of those handheld. What are those things called? One of the handheld stick blenders in the bowl. Those actually work really well. You can actually use those to make a whole bucket load if you wanted. Stick blender. We'll just call it a stick blender. And there's another name for it. I just can't think of it right now. Brain's a little fried. I feel like this is going to be going on forever. You guys are going to be watching me make mayonnaise for an hour. So if you want to make this fish and chip absolutely gluten-free, what you're going to want to do is substitute the beer out for club soda, because that way you'll be able to have it completely gluten-free, because gluten proteins do not break down until it reaches over 700 degrees. And in the beer brewing process, it's just not enough to kill all the proteins. Even the gluten-free beers might have trace amounts. May have. I better say may, or else I'm going to be like, oh, you said on your YouTube channel that there's trace amounts. Now I got all these people that are gluten-free, all wanting to start a class action lawsuit, yada, yada, yada. So, may. See, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Woo! God dang. Still got another, cup to go. Because I was really hoping to have, Fish and Chip Friday all freaking weekend. I even went and bought these beautiful onion buns to make fish sandwiches, because that's one of my favorite things, as well as Timmy's favorite thing, is fish sandwich. Thought that I would just do that. We're also going to be doing our potatoes, our French fries from scratch, because I really don't like spending $8 for a bag of frozen pre-cut potatoes. Now, granted, those ones that you get in the store are already par cooked and ready to go into the fryer, because there's a par cooking. You generally have to, well, you don't have to, but it's usually recommended that you par cook them first. Get the starch cooked out so that they actually look like nice, pretty. Because every time somebody thinks of French fries, they think, oh, they're golden and beautiful colored and stuff like that. They're not partly burnt and whatnot, or whatever. See, I like the fresh French fries. But what you do to blanch your fries is you set your deep fryer to 300 degrees. And you let them do its thing for about 2-3 minutes, and then you drain them, lay them out flat on a sheet pan, put them in the freezer, and then when you're ready to go, you just pull them out, or the refrigerator. Either way, but leave it on a single layer sheet pan until they're fully cooled off, and then jack up your temperature back up to 350, and then you can begin. I personally don't give a rat's ass. I just throw them in there and just hope for the best. It's not that big of a deal. But then again, I'm not really all that fond of potatoes to begin with. I actually prefer rice or other things, as long as it's not macaroni salad. Okay, anybody new in here? Yeah, he's slacking, Tiger. Get him. Some text message. You're fired, man. I tried to tell him, no, tell your friend to take an Uber. Then I had to add LOL, just kidding. After that, even though I was thinking, yeah, make him take an Uber. But I'm not going to be a dick like that. So, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We're going to actually stop for a moment because my arm feels like it's going to fall off. And we're going to add some salt because salt is a good thing. Now, stupid me, usually I have bottles upon bottles of Worcestershire sauce around, which, much to my dismay, I went to reach for it and realized, oh shit, I was just at the store, looked at the clock. Can I get to the store in time? No, of course not. It takes me 20 minutes to a half hour to get to the store, especially at this time of the night. So I'm like looking in my fridge. Well, what do I have in there that is Worcestershire heavy? And the only thing that I could come up with was Heinz 57 steak sauce. So we're just going to improvise. That doesn't mean put Heinz 57 steak sauce into your tartar sauce. Do the Worcestershire. Do it the right way. So technically, if Dakota's watching, I forgot something at the store because I thought, well, no, because I had it in my hand. I'm like, no, I recall seeing a bottle of it there. And I was like thinking to myself, what did I forget? Oh, I know. Malt vinegar. Because you cannot have fish and chips without malt vinegar. Any place that's worth their weight will have malt vinegar if they serve a good quality fish and chip. And I had forgotten to also get that too, even though I had it in my hand. I realized, oh, forgot the cabbage. So I ran back over to get the cabbage. Why I didn't put it in the cart, I don't know. It's just one of those days. It's been pretty exciting around here the last few days. I'll share that news later. We're going to have, I think y'all are going to be really excited. So, actually lots of good news. We're going to be having a baby soon, so very soon. So you're going to have to keep an eye out for the gender reveal that we're going to do live afterwards. And no, I've already received a bunch of emails asking me to do the birth live. No, that's not going to happen. Nope, not happening. Can't do it. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be laying in a fetal position crying at about 4 in the morning. Oh, honey, I need some potassium. My arm's going to fall off. So, like I said, you can just start whizzing it in there as long as you just start mixing it around aggressively. Like that. See? You can just drizzle a little bit more in there. Whizzy, whizzy, whizzy. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Got to show it a little muscle. Okay. Oh, that was hard. I don't want to go through that again. Love you guys, but I don't know. All right, so here we go. We have our beautiful mayonnaise, which stands up nicely. Then we're going to add all of our other stuff to it. And of course, you got to have Old Bay. because I'm addicted to Old Bay. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. Scrapey, scrapey, scrapey. I like mine with onions. I like mine with a lot of onions. How to hell with it. We'll just use it all. Ta-da! And then, of course, sweet relish. If you don't like sweet relish, you could use dill relish. Or if you don't like relish at all, you could just not use it. You could do pickled red onions or pickled peppers like Mama Lil's goat horn pepper. Just drain it first. Or just use some of the oil from the jar in your making mayo. Just perfectly good. Okay. So now we're going to mix it all up. Does that look done to you? No. Oh, crikey. I screwed up. Didn't mean to make that much tartar sauce. I was going to use some of this for the coleslaw, but I'll figure it out. All right, so bunch of rough chopped parsley. Now we got fresh dill. I'm in love with dill. I love dill. Dill's fabulous. You're like, well, you already put in sweet pickle relish, but it's not dill. And it's not colorful. Whoopsie. All right, so now we're just going to dump that in there. Just leave it rough. Rough. All right, just pretend what I'm doing right now is putting in a splash, which is about a tablespoon of Worcestershire. What the hell, man? All right. Beat the bottle. We'll just pretend that's Worcestershire. Probably going to be delicious anyway, so it don't matter. Okay. Half hour to get to the nearest grocery store. These grocery stores around here, they're just so ass backwards. It's like have a lot of the things that I would like to have. They're not bougie because we're not bougie people. We are Wilkabillies. All right, so that's what that looks like. Give her a taste. I think we need a little bit more of the sweet relish. I like mine to be relish heavy. There's just nothing finer than fresh mayonnaise because I don't like mayonnaise much either unless it's made from scratch. All right, give this a whirl. You know what, honey? That's not bad with Heinz 57 in it. Just saying. Does need a little bit more acid though. So always taste, adjust to your liking. Some people might be like, well, I want a little bit more acid to it and put a little bit more of this or that. I like mine a little spicy. So I'm going to put a dash of Tabasco or Cholula or whatever, crystal sauce or whatever you want. It's up to you. All right. So that should be good. We're just going to set that aside. Now comes the fun part. But first, I'm just going to check in with everybody. How we doing? Hi, Viper. How you doing, Viper? What happened to the sound? Is there something wrong? Oh, okay. We're still trying to figure this all out. So thank you all for being so patient. So next thing we're going to do, Put the towel over here for right now. Potatoes. Gotta eat that. Piece of parsley stuck in between my gum and my tooth. Okay, so now we've got our potatoes. I'm gonna take this lid off. And let's put it back here. Let's see here. Where are we? Hi, Andy. How you doing? Okay. So actually, we're gonna put the potatoes aside for right now because I gotta do a couple other things. Let's see. Set this board aside because I don't want to use that one. I thought I had the little one. Put it back. Why did I do that? I don't know. All right. So depending on how thick your fish is, you might want to cut it a little bit just so that we can cook it more evenly. So some water all over the place. Cannot use that for anything because that's got fish juice all over it. Okay, so move Mr. Phony Phone over there. Now, this fish I forgot to take out of the freezer. So I had to force thaw it by putting it in cold water and changing out the water every so often until it was thawed out. So it's a little on the moist side, and I know how some people don't like the word moist, but moist. There you go. Okay. No, I did not add a pinch of sugar in mine. I'm not all that fond of a lot of sugars in my tartar sauce. But what it does have is some Heinz 57 steak sauce. And while you say, oh my God, why? It's because I forgot that I was out of Worcestershire. Okay, so now we're going to look at this fish. And these are 5-ounce pieces. I don't like making them look like they are fish sticks. Make sure I didn't say fish sticks. I said it anyway. So what I like to do is I like to hold the knife at an angle, just like so. Take a look at the fish, and we're going to cut it on the bias, just like so. 2 pieces. Find the presentation side up. This would be the skin side. You'll see, little fragments of what. So we're going to look at the presentation side. So we're going to just go just like so, like that. So I don't like fish stick looking fish when it's nice cod. Now where I get my cod is over at Costco, over in the freezer section. Okay, so now we got our fish cut. Take these gloves off. Look for my other bowl. Now we're going to go for the fun part. Oh, and by the way, there is a little bit of sugar in the sweet relish. I do use sweet relish. That's enough sweet for me. Okay, so the other problem that I had living out in the middle of freaking nowhere is not being able to find the right flour that I like to use, and that's a regular flour. Now this one here is what's known as sweet rice flour, which is mochi flour, and it's Mochiko. And this is what I use when I make the Hawaiian butter mochi. There we go. Hawaiian butter mochi. So this isn't actually the one that I like to use. Now we could either do this, or I can use some of my gluten-free Mama's almond blend flour, because one of the things I don't like about this is it's sweet rice flour. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. Should we try an experiment and use the mochi flour, or should I switch over to the Mama's almond blend flour, which does have a considerable amount of rice flour? Which do you think we should do? I'm just going to leave it up to you guys. You guys want to make me suffer and try this, or you want me to try the mochi? Okay. So what we need, and I don't suggest this unless it comes out really, really good, then I'll say, hey, You know what? Try this out instead. 1.2 and 1/2. I'm sorry, Andy, I don't understand. Okay, and Greg is also saying emoji. Yes, Andy, that's a bias cut. Okay, so let's move some of this out. So my beautiful friend Leanne could not be on because she has to work tonight. Most bartenders work the busier days of the week, so we won't see her at all today. But I'm sure she'll get a smile when she sees me holding this can. That I'm actually branching out to something other than, what I used to always constantly ask her. Can I have a picture of this? Can I have a picture of this? Can I have a picture? Why don't you try this one instead? And I'll be like, I don't know. So I'm a creature of habit in so many ways. So depending on how many people you're feeding is going to be dependent on how much of this you're going to need. So we have 3 whole pieces of fish here, but there's six pieces. We're going to go with 1 cup of the mochi flour. Now, I'm not going to talk to you guys again if this doesn't work out. I'm kidding. All right, so 1 part or 1 cup. Would you guys like to see Hawaiian butter mochi made? It's a dessert. Suffer and make me try it. LOL. Timmy. Yes. He's always a really good crash test dummy. Except for the one time when I tried an experiment, and it was a curried shrimp dish that I tried, and it was just so freaking horrible. Oh God. Even I couldn't eat it. I was like, what the hell did I do with this? It's like, this isn't even palatable. Okay, so 1 part of the rice flour, 1 part cornstarch. Okay, ding. Every time the bell rings. All right. Because of all the dings, it's shot o'clock. Salute. I, as you probably have not already noticed, I really like Old Bay. And when you're doing deep fried beer batters, you need to go a little aggressive on the seasoning because the heat from the oil will kind of kill a lot of it. So now I'm going to add some salt, some cracked black pepper. Just do your best judgment on the salt and pepper. Never made a batch this small before, so please bear with me. Okay. All right, so now I need gloves. Okay, let's see here. Yes, that big Kona is really good. All right. So our cameraman has left the building for a moment. He had to go and take Puppy out for a walk. Or out. Actually, her idea of a walk and our idea of a walk are 2 totally different things. It's take her out onto the porch and let her walk off the porch into the grass and go do her business. Okay, so, ooh, I wish they had smaller cans because I feel like I'm always so wasteful. So you can always add, but you can't subtract. So pour some in, mix it up. And I like to use gloved hands because I like to feel the texture. We're looking for the consistency of not quite pancake batter. Like right now, it's just a spongy mess. So The other thing is that the type of beer will also determine how dark your fish is going to fry. This one's pretty light, so we'll probably get a very pale color to it. Been a while since I've made fish and chips at home. Okay, so we're just gonna mixy. And the reason why I wear gloves is to do this is because I really don't want to get the stuff under my fingernails. I just don't like things under my fingernails. So anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything interesting that happened this week? Anybody got anything fun to do this weekend? I know what I'm doing. Okay. So that's about the right consistency. Thinner than pancake batter. I would say probably crepe batter or beaten egg. Yeah. So there we go. There's that. Whee! Nice stream. Okay. So we're going to mix that up a little bit more. Since my camera guy is outside taking care of the dog, figure maybe we can just hang out for a few moments and chit chat, maybe tell a story. Story time. Having fun. Keep it up, Civvy. Thank you, Oyster. Tilt the bowl towards the cam a bit to show us. Okay. Right, like that. We've got a delay, so I don't know how long I have to actually hold this. So there we go. Tell them about tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow. Actually, let's back up. Let's back this train wreck up for a moment. Let's start with what happened yesterday. So actually, no, let's start back 3 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. I decided that I was going to put in an application for a job. And the job was a food service director, which was kind of similar to what I was doing in my past life that I just left. I thought, yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. The Catholic school didn't work out, which was kind of unfortunate because I was in my childhood hometown. I was so looking forward to possibly getting that job, but that didn't pan out. But I think that was the universe's way of saying, no, just hang tight for a little bit, be patient. Something even better is coming along. So here we are. Put the application or filled out the application, sent my resume in, waited a day, nothing, heard nothing. The next day, which was Wednesday, nothing. I thought, well, maybe that one wasn't it either. And so I was like feeling a little discouraged. Thursday morning when I woke up, I was like, really don't want to get out of bed. I really need to go back to work. I'm ready to go back to work. And there's got to be something out there. And I was kind of cursing the universe a little bit because, come on, how much more patient do I need to be? And so later, Thursday afternoon, I get a phone call and I'm looking at my caller ID and I don't recognize the number. It's in another state even. So I thought, well, maybe it's something. So just answer the phone. So I answered the phone. Sometimes I don't answer the phone. If I don't recognize a phone number, if I'm not expecting any phone calls, I don't answer the phone. So just let it go to voicemail and I'll call them back later. So here I am. I answer the phone. Hello. And hello, this is so and so with so and so. And I'm like, oh, hello. How are you today? Kind of confused. And he's like, well, I got your resume in front of me and I just got it. I don't know when you applied for this. We posted this job a couple weeks ago. Dory, honey. Um, and I thought to myself, great. Okay. Another rejection. I'm waiting for a rejection. And it's like, it was very impressive and I would like to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. I perked up. You could probably even see me or hear me smiling through the phone. I was all perked up and was like, oh, well, yes, of course. We could talk. Definitely. I have time right now. Yes, absolutely. So here we are. We're talking on the phone, yada, 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 yada. And he's like, I just don't know if you're going to be bored. And I'm like, why would I be bored? And he's like, well, yada, 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 yada. So here we are, chatting back and forth. Well, this is what we do. We work for the jail. You're not going to be dealing with any murderers or anything like that. But, most of them are going to be like drunks and drug addicts and stuff like that. And we need a food service director at so and so. And I'm like, okay, all right, I could do that. Does that still sound like it's up your alley? I mean, he almost sounded a little afraid to even get those words out. And I'm like, you know what? This is really intriguing me a lot. I would like to hear more about this. I would love to explore this, not because I need a job, but because I've never worked in a jail before, let alone a prison or a school. And so I told him that. I said, I've never worked in a jail before. So yes, I'm willing to hear more. Um, oh, fantastic. Well, I'll have my so and so call you and maybe we could set up an interview. I'm like, okay. So a while later, about 4:30 my time, phone rings, but I didn't hear it. Finally got to my phone. It was like 5:30 when I called him back. And we were talking, and then all of a sudden we started bonding over this whole experience that he had just left um, senior living communities back at the height of COVID because he was tired of all the deaths that was happening. And so we kind of bonded over that whole thing. And it's like they both seem like very, very nice people. And to make the long story not as long, I've got one last interview. They sent me the paperwork for the security stuff and background check already. I filled it out, sent it in. He sent me the link to the um, Microsoft Teams team meeting thing via email, and I thought, this is going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I think this is going to be an interesting journey. The first one was telling me all about all the benefits and stuff like that. I was like, really? That's so weird that some company offers 2 years or 2 weeks paid vacation that's available after 90 days. I've never heard that before. But then again, this is a county job. I think it's a county job. Could be a state job. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the news. That's the news, and I am 99.999% certain that I should be uh, getting approval for starting that position very soon. 99.999% sure that job is mine. And I think I'm going to have a wonderful time. It means that I'm going to have inmates in my kitchen, and I'm going to be cooking with them and teaching them how to cook and stuff like that. And yeah, it's going to be a wonderful journey. But at least with that, I will be able to take a few days off to still go down to South Carolina and cook on the food boat. So you'll still see me down there in South Carolina. Um, so yes, I was feeling a little dismayed, but now I'm actually feeling a little calmer and a little less stressed, and I like it. So that's that. That's the story time for today. So yeah, it'll be fun to teach inmates how to cook and bake. I guess apparently baking part's the clincher. So let's go back to the potatoes. We got 4 potatoes here. Gotta get a different knife because I used that one up for. Oh, that's a bread knife. Okay, let's see here. Potato knife. What the hell? Why would I put that away dirty? Oh, I know why. Because I'm civvy. Sometimes just pitch things into the toolbox dirty. All right. Much better. Run, little turkey, run. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut 4 potatoes. I'm not sure I'm going to eat that much potato because 2 potatoes sounds like a lot, but there's a small one in here, so who knows. So now we're going to take the potato. We're going to look for the flat side. That's the flat side right there. This is the not so flat side. So we're just gonna put a little cut right in the not so flat side. Okay. Now, depending on how thick and how thin you want your French fries is solely dependent on how thick your planks begin. So we like ours kind of in between, like that size, which is, so we just, with the claw, we just make sure that we let the knife rest right here on top of the knuckle or against the knuckles when we do our cutting. And see, that's pretty uniform. If that's not uniform, I don't know what is. Oh, okay. So now we're going to flip these little bad boys over, flip the basket up. So now we try to guess just how thick it is going the other direction. So now we have our French fries, just like so. They don't have to be perfect. And then those end pieces, never throw away the potato. Although that one bottom piece that we cut off is probably going to cook really funky, but yeah, it'll just be extra crispy. Okay, so yeah, that's if that's not uniform, I don't know what is. So, huh? We don't have to put them in water. I mean, yes, chef. Okay, so next one. Just cut the top off there so we can flip it over. This is for stability, so that when we go to cut our planks, they're not going to wobble away and accidentally cut our finger off, which we don't want to do. So line it up against the knife blade. And there we go. Potato number 2. Okay, I can already tell that that's the not so flat side. We're going to have to, after this rests, this batter rests a little bit, we're going to want to agitate it again just a little bit more. There's some slightly thicker pieces in there. So, yeah. So cut into planks, just like so. Move those end pieces out of the way. I'll show you some little trick to that. It's actually more for safety than it is for aesthetics. Is when you see something curved and smooth, like the tops of these potatoes, even though you've seen me do it the other way, flip it so that the meat side is up, so that your knife does not slip off of that rounded edge and nick your finger. Learned that the hard way when I was about 17 years old. I cut a chunk of my finger pretty badly to the point where now my fingernail doesn't grow back properly. Uh, okay, so now I'm going to drop these into the fryer for we're just going to actually drop those in for just a few moments. We're not going to cook them all the way through. We're just going to blanch them for right now. And then we're going to set them out onto a sheet pan to chill out while we get the fish going, because the fish can actually sit out from the oil after the fish is done. It can sit there and be happy for a little while. So now let me pull the table this way a little bit. Is that better? There we go. So we're not looking to cook these all the way through. We're just going to let them blanch for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then we're going to flip them out onto a paper towel lined sheet pan. And when the fish is done, we're going to put them back and you'll see the magic happen. Dory, honey. We have a neighbor at the end of the street that's got a dog that and a 4-foot fence. And the dog keeps jumping over the fence and goes running through the neighborhood. And it's almost as though the family doesn't really care so much about this poor dog. Sometimes he's out or she's out just barking and howling all night long on those cold nights. It's just so wrong on so many levels. And then on top of all of it, they have little kids, and little kids during the summertime when this dog was a small puppy, they were kicking her around the yard. And I stopped one time and said, please don't do that. Why anybody would have small children outside with a brand new dog unsupervised is beyond me. Okay, so these are par cooked. So we're going to just let them drain for a few moments. Drop that back down. We're going to shake them. See how some of them have already turned a little on the brown side. Okay, so there's that. Grab a glove. All right. So now we're going to just check and make sure, because sometimes the cornstarch in this will start to bundle up at the bottom of the bowl, and then you're like having to scrape it out with something to get it going. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our fish. We're going to do 3 pieces, and we're going to just go in and let them sit in here and get happy a little bit. And then drop the other 3 pieces. And then we should be done with all the pieces. So there we go. So now we got our fish, and we just want to make sure that it's coated completely. So there we go. Grab one of the hardier ends of the fish. You'll notice where it is when you grab it, so that it doesn't fall apart on you. So now you're going to take it, let it drain a little bit off, and then you're going to take the bowl over, and then you're going to lay it down very gently, okay? And once when you've used this oil for fish, unless you're planning on doing more fish tomorrow, you're gonna wanna throw the fish or the, oil out the next day. And what I usually recommend doing is just using a funnel and, um, pouring it back into the old bottle, or so always keep your extra oil bottles handy for that purpose. You wanna very gently shake the basket so that the fish doesn't stick, and we're just gonna let it take its bath. And this fish is so beautiful. Um, Thank you, Mason. Thank you very much. Oh, Andy, I hope not. I really hope not. X always tried to guess on my first dates. Harvey, what do you mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. So I might not be online much at all um, in the early afternoon. Plus, I got to go see my gal pal Leanne tomorrow, so I can get her a bottle of hot sauce before she murders me in my sleep. All right, so now we can hear some dancing going on in that oil. We're gonna just pop it up and take a look. Look how beautiful and lightly golden that is. Give it a little shake, make sure that they're not stuck, and they're not. Now, the thing I love about this oil is you can actually let it sit on a plate and let it get absolutely freaking cold, and it's still going to be crispy. And that's attributed to the rice flour and the cornstarch. Not that anybody should let their fish sit and let it get cold, but sometimes that happens. What do I do to you all the time, Timmy? It says here, that's okay. She does it to me all the time with a smiley, or with a, yeah, a crying smiley face. I do what? I beat you up? Oh. Oh, guessing the thickness. Oh, Viper. Oh, penalty box for you, bud. Okay. All right. So these things are floating. But look at that. Wait till all the bubbles go down. You see how nice and beautiful golden that is? Those are gorgeous. Add a stage. There we go. Flip it back up to the other camera for a second. All right, Munchie Mafia. So that's how you make donuts. Thank you for joining. I'm kidding. Never mind. That's going to get old. All right. So here's pieces 1, 2, and 3 of our fish. You can flip it back to the other camera. We're going to put the other 3 in. All right, so gently lay it down so you don't splash yourself. This is a nice one. There we go. So that's what these look like. Nice and pretty and golden. Sorry about that. I think we're going to be switching back to my computer as soon as we figure out what the problem is with it. Has decided that they wanted to do a BIOS update now. Of all times, he's had it for a week now, and why now of all times? Tiger is cheating and drinking the beer. Oh no. Tiger. Shame on you. All right. Agitate the basket a little bit. These ones might have stuck. Come on. Sometimes if you don't shake off the excess, it bundles up underneath, and we just need to just kind of lift it a little bit and knock it from the underside of the basket off there. This is like a nice crispy batter. There we go. Free Willy. There we go. There we go. These things are just so nice and crispy. Not as crispy as I like it to be. I think it's the difference between the two flours. Thank you so much. Sometimes it's not always amazing. Sometimes it's just kind of what the hell were you thinking? All right. So when you cut your fish down so it's not so thick, it takes less time to cook. Cooks a little bit more evenly. Because sometimes you might have a thin piece down here that's more the belly piece, and then you got the nice big fillet up there. Cut that thin shit off of there so you don't have to deal with it. The closer to the end of the tail you get, it's like really thin too. So just kind of even it out a little bit as best you can before frying it. But look at that. That is just so golden. Yeah, so you want to look for the long grain or medium grain rice flour. You might have to special order it if you live out in the podunk nowhere like we do. I kind of take for granted a little bit that I work in food service and can pretty much order just about anything I want. But when I go to a grocery store, it's like, can't find it. And I'm like, why? Because they only buy for what the market demands at the grocery stores. And most home cooks don't use some of the fancy ingredients, although some are starting to show up in stores, and which is kind of cool. Now, what the hell did I see today? I was like, oh wow, they're carrying that now. But then again, I was kind of laughing. Oh, that's what it was. Pickled red onions. So now they're selling pickled red onions in a jar, and it's grocery store, grocery store label. I was laughing at it because they're so light colored. I mean, you look at mine and they're just this deep, brilliant purple. And those just look so lethargic. It's like they put in a little bit of purple food coloring and called it a day, But I was kind of amazed that, because I'd never seen it there before. And I've looked. All right, so now we're going to let our fish rest. And we're going to take our French fries that are blanched, and we're going to just dump them right back into the deep fryer, and we're going to let them finish. But at the same time, what we're also going to do is we're going to flavor up this oil a little bit by throwing in a bunch of garlic cloves. Okay, so there's that. We're going to want new ones. Okay, so let's get that going. So I got some garlic cloves right here. Right there. We're going to just dump those right along in there. Those will get nice and crispy, and they're going to taste delicious. And I'm going to get rid of some of this garbage. That is an okay cutting board. The other one is not an okay cutting board. I'm just going to set that aside. Now this is going to take just a few minutes, so we're going to go over to the next thing. First, I'm going to get the paper towels. I almost dropped a fish on the floor, and Timmy was looking at me like, oh no. But I want to live. Not on the floor, you're not. I'll end up in the cat's belly. And Winnie, being the naughty boy that he is, he's over here chowing down on his dry food. He decided to bestow it upon himself to get into this giant container of cat cookies that we got, threw it onto the floor, and proceeded to eat all but 10 pieces, I guess, is what Timmy said. There was like 10 pieces left. This cat's going to have the shits tomorrow, let me tell you. Okay, so now we're going to get our lemon. Flip this around. Because you can't have fish without lemon. So when you're cutting lemon for lemon wedges, you always want to make sure that you get the white pithy stuff out. So what I do is I cut it like that and just scrape the seeds out very, very easily. You know that white stringy thing that sits in there? If you cut just before you get halfway through, you can get past that pithy thing. So there we have those. See, look how pretty that is. Presentation. So now that we know where here's the pithy thing right here. So we're going to cut just before that, this direction. And there we have another perfect wedge without the pithy thing. Say it with me, pithy. Okay, there's the other one. Scrape seeds. There we go. Cut that also in half. And then this one has all the pithy things, so we just cut that, and there we go. One more seed right there. It's all about presentation. You don't want that thing in there. Even when you're doing bartending, you don't want that to show. Now this one's going to be a pain in my ass. I just know it. Come here, you. It's also the wrong knife. Also, somebody dropped this knife off of my bench a few years back and broke the tip off, but I still use it. Still love this knife. Okay, there we go. Now let's go look at our thingies. I'm going to take our tongs. We're just going to kind of agitate that a little bit. Now these are not going to turn that nice golden color that you're going to see at like McDonald's and stuff like that. Those ones are treated. That's why Timmy was asking me why I didn't soak the potatoes. I stopped doing that a long time ago when I realized it was a stupid idea. That really doesn't work. So yeah, there we go. You just need just a few more moments. Oh man, we lost the power to the. Oh, that's why. It'd be helpful. Stick around with this. Dee. There. All right. Yeah. So look how pretty those fishes are. Look alive, Tim. All right. Anybody got anything fun planned for the weekend? Nobody ever answered that the last time I asked, so I figured I'd ask again. No, I'm getting munchies too, Mason. Yeah, we didn't get naps today. All right. So we're hitting about the 4-minute mark on those. Go get our handy dandy Corelware plates. Handy dandy dippy cups. Actually, probably wants bigger dippy cups. We'll use a nicer dippy cups. You want ketchup? No? Yeah. Oh. So now I got to do this the hard way. So let's go back over to the coleslaw. Now I like to do kind of a weird thing with my coleslaw. And no, Viper, not that kind of weird. Get your head out of the gutter, man. All right, I'm gonna use mayonnaise because I made a quart of tartar sauce. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's all fresh from scratch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a good healthy dose. Now remember, you can always add, not subtract. So we're gonna set that aside. Now, one of the other horrible things about living out in the middle of nowhere is not being able to find certain authentic ingredients. And one of those is known as mayploy. So I love mayploy, but there's been a shortage on it lately, just like sriracha and now sambal's now a big problem. So just think of this as being sriracha, or not sriracha, sweet chili sauce. This stuff is delicious. This takes care of all the sweet and all the sweet flavors. You don't have to actually add sugar, but I like to put like a little smidge of honey in mine. So a little smidge. I really don't like a lot of sugar in my coleslaw. Let's see, do I have another set of tongs? Yes, I do. Okay, another set of tongs. So now we're going to mix it. Now, one of the things you can do with this fish is you can make the size of the fish that we have here, you can actually make a pretty decent sized fish burger slider. And what I like to do is I like to use lots and lots of that tartar sauce. You put a little bit of this coleslaw on the bottom. And then I don't like mine overdressed too, by the way. So if it doesn't look milky enough, that's why. Because it's gonna bleed overnight anyway and leave this puddle of pink something. It almost looks like Nestle Quick strawberry milk at the bottom of the bowl. But I really don't think that we're going to have that problem because Timmy really loves coleslaw. Okay, so that's the coleslaw right there. I mean, if you want it with more, you can put more. What I put in there was about a cup to about a pound of cabbage with a little tiny bit of shredded red and a little tiny bit of shredded carrot. Like 1 carrot, an eighth of a small head of purple cabbage, and a third of a small to medium head of white cabbage or green cabbage. White to me because it doesn't have much color. I like to use Napa cabbage personally, but I didn't like the look of it at the store. Plus, it was like $8 a pound. All right, so look at our French fries. They're starting to get that pretty crisp golden color. Now, one of the things that you can do is get a bowl. I'm dirtying up a lot of dishes again. It seems like whenever I cook, I dirty up a lot of dishes. And then we're going to take our bowl and we're going to take our salt. We're going to put salt in the bowl, pepper in the bowl. Old Bay in the bowl. And when these fries are ready, we're going to take a gander at them. Yeah, they're looking nice and pretty. You see that? They are looking beautiful. Now, when you do pull them out to let them drain, they will continue to cook and they will darken a little bit, so you don't want to go overboard. What could be a collab video? That would be cool. I would really like to see that chicken bacon ranch sausage. I could come up with a gazillion things to do with that. So anyway, so we have our fish. We have our potatoes. Put them in there. Shaky, shaky, shaky. So that they get totally covered in that salt and stuff. And there we have it. Now, you can just go over here, put the fries on the plate, pieces of fish. You know what? I'm gonna do this the other way. I'm gonna take a picture of it on the big platter. I think it'll look a lot prettier. Okay, so dump it all on the platter. Now we're gonna take our fish and we're gonna line it up. We don't wanna get it all too clumpy, but we also don't want to bookend it. Now, bookending it is putting 3 pieces over there. We're not going to do that. We're going to put 4 pieces over here because 4 pieces are for Timmy. 2 pieces are for me. Okay, like so. And then just take a little dish with the coleslaw. This would be like a family dinner for two, right there, just like so. And then a spoon, get some of that tartar sauce. This tartar sauce is so good. But remember, Worcestershire, not Heinz 57, but this actually didn't turn out too bad. Gotta hate myself today. All right, so there we go. There we have it. We have fish and chips, all from scratch. I'm going to take a picture real quick. And I'm going to bring it over and show y'all what it looks like. All right. So there we have it. Oopsie daisy. Lost my window. Okay. I'm going to bring it over to the camera and I'll show you. Am I lined up good? And that's fish and chips. All right. Yeah, I would destroy the entire platter too. All right. Gaining weight from Chef Civvy. Yes, probably. But you know what? You got to make him make this for y'all because this is really nice and it's light. It's not overly heavy like a lot of all the other ones out there. So this was a wonderful, wonderful experience. Thank you so much for sharing my story of the week. I hope that you are about as excited as I am. So Munchie Mafia, it's about time for us to eat our dinner and then go hit the hay. So remember always to be kind to one another and love one another. Be patient and show grace. And always cook with love and eat with passion. Good night, everybody. Love you.